Morning, greetings friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we welcome your calls on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about the longevity products, our Truth Skin Health products, or a health challenge you or a loved one may be dealing with, or if you just have a comment or a success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended on The Bright Side, please go to my websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also join the Brightside Ben team at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself. You can start a longevity business and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. If you are an entrepreneur or you like the entrepreneur lifestyle, and it is a great lifestyle. You're your own boss. You work as much or as little as you like. You make as much money or as little money as you like. You just control your destiny to such an incredible degree when you are working for yourself. Because so many of us are slaves to our jobs. We're slaves to our bosses. We're slaves to the company that we work for. If you like your job, that's great. And if you don't like the entrepreneur lifestyle, that's great too. But for those of you who find it exciting, exhilarating, and appreciate the independence of being your own boss, want to be an entrepreneur, you owe it to yourself to check out the business opportunity at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com with the longevity company. You can call 866-735-2470 as well, 866-735-2470. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. We're talking about energy. It's all about energy. When we're sick, it's an energy phenomenon. All disease is cell disease, and all cell disease has something to do with the production or the efficient channeling of energy. The production of energy occurs in the little tiny structures called the mitochondria. They call them the energy factories, and how this happens is just mind-blowing. Literally, pieces of atomic matter, atoms, pieces of atoms, that is electrons. Pieces of electrons are pieces of atoms. That's how tiny these things are. There's no way to even conceive how tiny an electron is, yet the animal cell, or the typical cell, can somehow extract pieces of energy at that kind of level, trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of times smaller than the world we live in. Somehow these mitochondria can extract pieces of atomic matter and transfer and do all kinds of magic and sorcery and biochemical black box kinds of things. It's like a black box. You put it in one side and out the other side comes energy. In between, it's just the most incredible things that are going on at that kind of level, at the electron level. Mitochondria are so ridiculously tiny that millions of them could fit on a grain of sand. Yet they have this complex structure that allows them to manipulate atomic matter at the electron level. I say atomic matter. Atoms are billions of times bigger than electrons, trillions of times bigger than electrons. We are talking small people, yet the organization and the structure and the choreography and the regulation and the intelligence and the responsiveness that is occurring at this level is just ridiculous. So within the mitochondria, which themselves are millions of times smaller than a grain of sand, within them, you've got an inner membrane. You've got this structure that's ridiculously tiny, and within it, you've got this inner membrane that's convoluted. Not just convoluted in a chaotic way, but it's got folds, like systematic folds within. And each of these folds, within each of these folds, you got fluids and chemicals that are floating around. I mean, this is I can't even express the amazingness of this. I wish I had the words, but we just got to sit with what this stuff is about. So anyway, so you got within the mitochondria, you got fluids, and you got chemicals, and you got proteins, and all that stuff somehow gets together, and in this organized way turns fat and sugar, or reacts fat and sugar with oxygen. We say it's burning. It's a type of burning, quantum burning. It reacts the fat and the sugar with the oxygen, and boom, out the other end comes ATP. Out the other end comes energy. But not just energy that is trapped in a chemical that the body has evolved over billions of years to be able to extract energy from. So sugar and fat plus oxygen go into the mitochondria. Out come these little coins. You could think of them like coins. Just like money is energy in a way. This is the money of the body. This is what the body spends when it needs to make something. It spends ATP, and that's what comes out the other end. And for all this to happen, you got to have your fats. You got to have oxygen. And, of course, you got to have glucose, but sugar, you don't have to have sugar, I should say. But sugar is one of the things that can be used, and we all get too much of that sugar. And that creates major, major problems. Fats are much more efficient at the level of the mitochondria. Fats, however, have a little bit of a problem. In order for fats, because fats are big, the fact that they're sustained release and they're slow release and they're a much more efficient form of energy, this fact is derived from the chemical structure of biological fats, which are big. They can't really get into the mitochondria. They need some help. They don't go into the mitochondria without this magical molecule that is a shuttle that ferries fats into the mitochondria. It's called carnitine. Carnitine is an incredibly valuable amino acid. It's not like most amino acids. It's kind of big, and it's non-essential. Your body can make carnitine. But carnitine is absolutely, absolutely vital for supporting the burning of fat, because the fat isn't going to get into the mitochondria without it. They call this thing the carnitine shuttle because it actually will take a piece of fat, stick it on itself in its own chemical way, how molecules stick to each other. It'll stick the fat onto itself, take it into the mitochondria, and then come out empty and do it again. They call it a shuttle. Shuttles back and forth, delivering carnitine to the mitochondria, comes back out empty, delivers another one, comes back out empty. It just basically shuttles back and forth, picking up the energy part of long fats and delivering it and dropping it off and coming back outside the mitochondria for more, the carnitine shuttle. And as we age, no surprise, and as we get sicker, no surprise, this delivery system starts to break down. And the breakdown of the carnitine shuttle, the breakdown of this little shuttling mechanism that helps us burn fats for more efficient energy, accounts for many of the signs of aging, accounts for many of the signs of a cell death, and ultimately our death, and also it can lead to low blood sugar conditions, or low energy conditions, I should say, which will have us eating more sugar, which means supporting the carnitine shuttle, which means supporting your body's ability to transfer fats, can be important if you are dealing with diabetes, blood sugar issues, hypoglycemia, low blood sugar issues, and, of course, accelerated aging and cell death. We will continue our discussion on the carnitine shuttle and energy production and what you can do about it, most importantly, when we come back on the bright side. 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open for you. We'll be back after this. back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010. We got lines open for you. We love hearing from you. If you've got questions or comments or success story you'd like to share. If you've got a health challenge you or a loved one may need help dealing with, we can help you. If you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you as well. If you want to purchase longevity products that you hear advertised or recommended on the bright side, please call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470, or sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team, even better. If you want to start a longevity business, or if you want to just get your products at the wholesale price for a one-time $25 fee, you can be in business for yourself. Call 866-735-2470 or sign up right off the websites brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, our Truth Biomimetic Mineral Mist, and our Truth Retinol products, our Truth Vitamin C products, Truth Transdermal C Serum, Truth Transdermal C Balm, Truth Retinol 1% Gel, Truth Retinol 5% Gel. If you're not using retinol, by the way, topically, you are missing the boat on anti-aging skin care. Retinol, along with vitamin C, are the two most important active ingredients you could ever put on your skin. No anti-aging or skin health, topical skin health program is complete without retinol and vitamin C, and that's why I created my True Skin Health products, which are super mega high doses of vitamin C and really high doses of retinol as well. You're not going to see retinol 5% in very many places. Our retinol 5% gel also contains lots of vitamin C. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, water, or anything your skin doesn't need or doesn't want. Any of our Truth Treatment products, truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. So, the carnitine shuttle. Carnitine is they call it a vitamin-like amino acid because it's involved in chemistry in a way that most amino acids are not. So they say it's vitamin-like. So it's almost like it's a vitamin, but technically it's an amino acid. It's found in meat. It is made in the body. Your body can make it, but it makes it from two amino acids that are basically found in animal products. So as it turns out, if you're a vegan or even a vegetarian, you got to be a little bit careful about making sure that you're getting carnitine. Yes, or it's true, your body can make it. Okay, got that. But as we age, we don't make it as well. And if you're not eating organ meat or dairy products, you're not going to get the amino acids or high amounts of the amino acids that are important for making carnitine. Carne means meat, by the way. So vegans and vegetarians, once again, you've got to be careful. There's nothing wrong per se with a vegan diet. You just have to be really careful about getting everything you need if you're going to be a vegan. And carnitine is one of those things that you may want to be supplementing with if you're vegan, or if you're older for that matter, or if you're diabetic for that matter, or if you are going ketogenic. It's a whole other issue we'll talk about here in a second. A lot of reasons to supplement with carnitine, particularly if you're aging or if you're sick, or if you have any kind of health challenge. Because remember, health challenges are about energy. Carnitine is important for energy production. The systems that require the most energy are going to be the ones that benefit the most from carnitine. Systems that require the most energy are the ones that have the most mitochondria. They're the ones that require the healthiest mitochondria. Thus, if you're dealing with heart problems or you're dealing with brain and nervous system problems, the brain and the heart are the two systems in the body that are the most energy intense, that require energy the most. No coincidence that heart disease is the #1 killer in this country, because most of us are energy deficient. And it's going to show up at the heart, at the level of the heart, before it's going to show up anywhere else but the central nervous system. And of course, that's why we get Parkinson's and dementia and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis and multiple sclerosis. And any real brain and nervous system problem is going to involve carnitine in the mitochondria, which means if you got MS or ALS or heart disease or dementia, or you got cognitive problems or Parkinson's disease, you might want to be supplementing with a little carnitine and making sure that your body's carnitine system is or mitochondria, I should say, which is the carnitine system, are working correctly by using other nutrients. There's lots of nutrients. We'll talk about more of them here in a bit. Vitamin C, for example, is supremely important for mitochondrial health. So is magnesium. So is coenzyme Q10. There's a whole bunch of them. And these are all, anything you could do to support mitochondrial health is going to be critical for people dealing with heart disease and people dealing with central nervous system or movement disorders. And carnitine is chief among these supplements. For dementia, for cognitive issues, movement disorders, Parkinson's disease, really anything that has to do with the brain, the nervous system, or the heart. The salubrious, health-giving benefits on the nervous system can be especially helpful if you are dealing with the unpleasant nerve discomfort and unpleasant nerve pain that is called peripheral neuropathy. If you go to the doctor and complaining of peripheral neuropathy, you're going to get Lyrica. You're going to get a prescription drug. And oh, by the way, Lyrica, this is a real neat little tidbit for you if you're on Lyrica. Lyrica has a lot to do with what we're talking about here today. Lyrica is a combination pain pill and antidepressant or anti-anxiety agent. And it turns out that Lyrica works with this whole mitochondrial system. Lyrica is a type of fat, a prescription tweaked fat, short chain fat that we're going to be talking about here in the next few days, which we've talked about in the past. Lyrica is a version of butyric acid. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you've got peripheral neuropathy, if you've got any kind of nerve discomfort, pain, peripheral means the nerves that are on the electrify the extremities of the body, outside of the brain and the spinal cord, outside of the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system. We have peripheral neuropathy, that is nerve pain in the peripheral nerves. You may want to think about using some carnitine. Nobody's ever going to tell you that. You never hear about that for peripheral neuropathy, but it may help. Anything you can do for the mitochondria is going to help you with peripheral neuropathy. Now, I will say that the major reason why people suffer from peripheral neuropathy involves the blood sugar system. So you got to make sure that you're keeping yourself sugar as best as you can, controlling your blood sugar. And this is also, by the way, why the ketogenic diet can be helpful for peripheral neuropathy. This ketogenic diet, man, it is just, if you have any health challenge or you want to slow down the aging process, you want to consider the ketogenic diet. And if you're going to go ketogenic, you'll want to think about carnitine. Carnitine is a fat transport nutrient. It supports the burning of fat for fuel, and that's what ketogenesis is about. So if you're going ketogenic, I'd be using some carnitine as a supplement. If you're going ketogenic, of course, you're going to get an organ meat. That's the best source of carnitine, is organ meats, carne. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to give yourself a standardized dose of carnitine if you're going ketogenic, maybe 250 milligrams a day, anywhere from 200, a couple hundred, 250, kind of in that order of magnitude to 1,000 milligrams a day is a good place to be if you're going to be supplementing with carnitine. Super fascinating amino acid / vitamin-like amino acid. A couple of interesting things about carnitine, which I find incredibly fascinating. Carnitine is actually composed of butyric acid. Yes, fatty acid. Carnitine is made, it's actually a form of butyric acid. We talked about butyric acid in the past. Butyric acid is a really valuable short chain fat. Remember, fats come in three lengths: big, medium, small, long, medium, and short. And the short ones are tremendously valuable for the brain. Butyric acid and many of its derivatives play a major role in brain health. We will talk about that. All right, we're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive pages at brightsideben.com. You can also purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And you can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites as well for a one-time $25 fee, or call 866-735-2470 for more information. Our number today, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products or business or health challenges you or a loved one may be dealing with, or if you have a comment or a success story you would like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. And if you're on hold, we will get to you in just a moment. A couple interesting stories I want to read. This one is from Health Day, the Health Day Reporter, technically, based on research that was done at Columbia University's Celiac Disease Center. 1/3 of gluten-free restaurants in the United States of America are not gluten-free, study says. If you're gluten sensitive, watch out. 1/3 of the gluten-free foods sold in U.S. restaurants actually contain trace levels of the substance, new research suggests. And this is why it's so important to do a food diary. Just because something says it's gluten-free doesn't mean it really is. Just because a restaurant tells you they're gluten-free doesn't mean they really are. And there are lots of other things that you can be reacting to in addition to gluten. Just because you're gluten-free doesn't mean you're out of the woods. Just because a food says it's gluten-free doesn't mean it is. And just because a food is gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to cause a problem for you. So, do a food diary. Write down foods you eat and write down how you feel. You need data. You need to collect the dots before you can connect the dots. And that's why food diary is so important. And that is why it's a good idea to stop eating for a day or two before you do your food diary, because you will notice things more clearly. They will become more obvious to you when you fast for a day or two. So just because you're gluten-free doesn't mean you're out of the woods. Just because a food is gluten-free doesn't mean it is truly gluten-free. Just because a restaurant says they only serve gluten-free foods doesn't mean that they really do. And I'm not saying they're doing it intentionally. There could be gluten dust somewhere, and you could be reacting to it in any case. Do a food diary. That's always the way to go when it comes to health challenges. And assume you have a digestive health challenge if you have any long-term chronic disease that is not resolving itself, gluten-free or not. All right, from the journal Cell Metabolism, new discovery restores insulin cell function in type 2 diabetes. By blocking a certain protein in the insulin-producing beta cells, those are cells in the pancreas that make our insulin, it is possible to restore their normal function in the case of type 2 diabetes. In preclinical experiments, the researchers behind the study showed that it is possible to prevent the development of diabetes as well. These findings were published in the journal Cell Metabolism. Great. Now they have figured out a way to block a protein. Of course, that means that you need a drug because there's no nutrients that will block anything. So they figured out a way to block a protein so that by blocking the protein, you can restore the normal functioning of beta cells. Well, this is just more drug pharmacology nonsense. If your body is acting a certain way, you don't want to compel it to act differently. You don't want to block a protein so that it can act differently, even if it supposedly restores normal functioning. Because guess what? If you block one thing, you're going to have an effect somewhere else. So while you may restore normal functioning, you're going to end up with side effects. And you're going to end up making other things happen unintentionally. And that's just the nature of drugs. That is the nature of pharmacology. Yes, you may create a desirable effect in one part of the body at best, but you're always going to be creating other effects because there's no way to target specific areas of the body. The body operates as a system, and when one part is affected, they're all affected. And if you're doing it with drugs, you're playing with fire. It's as simple as that. There's no way to get around it, and I don't care about the benefits of these things. That's just the nature of the beast. All right, one more, and then we'll get your phone calls, 844-236-6010. 4 myths about breast cancer debunked. This is from the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA. 4 common myths about breast cancer that can affect prevention and treatment of the most common type of cancer in women, that is breast cancer. And the first one is this genetics, this idea of genetics. Oh, it's in my genes. Oh, I'm just going to get cancer because my mom got cancer. Less than 10% of breast cancers are linked to genetics or linked to genes that you get from your family, says Dr. Parvin Petty, an oncologist at the University of California, Los Angeles. So just because no one in your family has breast cancer doesn't mean you cannot get it. Just because someone in your family has breast cancer doesn't mean you're going to get it. Just because you have the BRCA gene doesn't mean you have to cut your breasts off. That's the first myth, and that's probably the most damaging myth, is this idea that it's in our genes for better or for worse. Another myth is that sugar causes breast cancer. Well, that's interesting. Well, yeah, it is a myth, because sugar, while it creates problems in the body, is not a cause of breast cancer. In fact, nothing specific causes breast cancer or any cancer. This is so important. It's not like you can avoid one thing and you won't get cancer. It's not like you eat one thing and you get cancer. Or you expose yourself to one thing, with possibly the exception of ionizing radiation from a nuclear power plant disaster or even from the sun. But with the exception of ionizing radiation, it's not like one thing causes cancer. Cancer is caused by cells that are in duress, cells that don't know what to do, cells that at the level of energy production, which we've been talking about now for a while, can no longer produce energy in a healthy fashion. Cancer cells are forced or compelled to burn energy at the level of sugar. They're sugar burners. Remember, we've been talking about how important fats are for stable energy, for clean energy. It turns out that cancer cells have lost the ability or have a decreased ability to derive energy in this healthy, fat-oriented way, so they do it through sugar. This is why sugar has gotten a reputation for feeding cancer. It's not like sugar causes cancer, but it sure leans you, excess sugar or problems with blood sugar, push you in that direction. So yes, it's not like sugar causes breast cancer. That's a silly thing to say. But sugar pushes you in the cancer or carcinogenesis direction. I should say excessive amounts of sugar or messed up blood sugar push you in that direction. And metabolic syndrome, most especially, is associated with cancer. Metabolic syndrome is the syndrome, all the things that are associated with poor sugar control, including high blood pressure and heart disease and obesity and Alzheimer's disease and kidney problems. And there's a whole spectrum of health challenges that are associated with dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar. That's called metabolic syndrome. And cancer, while it's not technically part of metabolic syndrome, is most certainly the end result of long-term dysglycemia, and you can probably put it in to the metabolic syndrome category. All right, 844, let me read a couple more here real quick. A third myth is that there's nothing women can do to reduce their risk of breast cancer. Absolutely a myth. There's plenty you can do to reduce your risk of breast cancer, including exercise, nutritional supplementation, reducing your sugar intake, relaxing the body. So many things you could do to prevent breast cancer or any cancer as well. And then, let's see, where's the fourth myth here? Some people mistakenly believe early detection won't change a patient's diagnosis. Early detection is always a good thing. And then I would get if I was a woman, I wouldn't do a mammogram. I would do a thermogram, which is non-radiation. Thermogram is just heat versus a mammogram. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this on The Bright Side. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side. Got lots of lines open for you. 844-236-6010. And let's see. Well, I guess we'll time to hit the phones. Got one call, but we got lots of lines open. 844-236-6010. Good morning, Carolyn in Washington. How you doing?
Hi, good, thank you. I'm looking at your website, and I cannot find where where I can be sent to find the articles that you mentioned. Which one do I go to find that?
Well, we've got a little assumption going here. Which articles are you referring to? The ones I talk about every day?
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good idea to post them, wouldn't it? But I don't post them. But that is actually a great idea. Oh. I don't have I'm like the worst marketer in the world. I don't have a way of connecting with people. I don't have a skill that way, put it that way. So we do have several websites, but no, we don't have the stories. But that's a great idea. I should probably think about doing that.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I just, what I do is I just search the internet for interesting studies, basically. You can do the same thing. I mean, if for example, I was talking about, if I talk about diabetes or insulin or something like that, like we were talking about earlier today about how they found a way of blocking a protein that could help for folks who are dealing with type 2 diabetes. You can just Google that, or 4 myths about breast cancer. You could Google that as well. But that's a really good idea. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that what you want to say, or do you have any questions for us?
No, I wanted to ask you why my nose runs every time I eat or drink. I do not eat GMO that I know of. I don't eat packaged foods. I don't eat out. I don't eat bought meals. I read the ingredients and rarely consume grains. And starting with my cup of coffee in the morning, my nose starts running.
That's excellent. It's like where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what I was talking about before we went to break. It's like it doesn't matter if you're gluten-free. It doesn't matter if you're, reading the ingredient decks and you're staying away from certain things. Your body doesn't lie. Your body is talking to you, and mucus is your body's way of clearing things out. Mucus is your friend. Right. Mucus is your friend. So you always want to understand why the body becomes slimy. Basically, that's what mucus is. Mucus is a way that the body slimes out the bad guys. So anytime you have mucus in your throat and mucus in your nostrils, sinuses, your runny nose, any thickening, fluidization of the body is a sign the body's trying to get rid of something. So you just got to figure out what that is, and that's why doing a food diary is so important. I have a friend who's constantly clearing their throat. If you're constantly clearing your throat, chances are pretty good you're putting something in your system that your system is rebelling against. We had a doctor on a few weeks ago who said constantly clearing your throat may be a sign of heartburn or of GERD, undiagnosed GERD, and that's possibly true. But really, anytime you have some kind of fluid buildup or stickiness, or you're clearing your throat, or like you say, runny nose or anything like that, think of your body trying to eliminate something, trying to slime something out of your body. It's like that movie Ghostbusters, how they used to slime the ghosts. That's what the body does. It slimes things away. That's why slimy substances, by the way, are so healthy and so important for the immune system. Seaweed and cartilage and algae, various mushrooms, anything that's gelatin, anything that's got a slimy quality to it is going to be supportive for the immune system. And of course, if you're doing the longevity products, we have a wonderful way of increasing slime in the body, a wonderful slimy product called your Fuchs Z. And this is why the Fuchs Z is so important for building the immune system, among other incredible health benefits. It's important for building the immune system because it functions as slime. It's actually algae that gives it the slimy characteristic, the fucoidin. Fucoidin is a type of sugar that attracts water, and thus that water attraction creates that slimy effect. High hyaluronic acid also is another neat supplement to help slime things out of the body. So I'd be looking at what you're doing exactly, and I know it's great that you're... Why did you decide to go gluten-free, by the way? Did you have other health challenges, Carolyn?
Glyphosate. I don't want to eat the sprays. I don't want to eat Roundup.
You're a pretty smart lady, but did you have a health challenge that you were dealing with?
Just sciatica, which I don't know if there's a connection.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a connection. Yes, is that why you went gluten-free?
No, I just don't trust
grains.
What gets processed.
I see. So it wasn't that you were going gluten-free. It was that you were eliminating grains.
Yeah.
That's smart. All right. Anything else you got going on?
Well, that didn't help me a whole lot because, like I said, it doesn't matter what I eat, and I can't be allergic to everything.
Well, you can be allergic to a lot of things if you've got some kind of liver issue or some kind of processing issue. I would be doing a fast before I did my food diary. Have you tried that?
No, I haven't tried that. That's no fun, but I'll try it.
No, it's no fun. No fat. That's your point's well taken. Do a Suero V cleanse. Although I haven't seen Suero V lately, I'm not sure if they're still doing Suero V. That's one of the neat things about the Suero V cleanse is that it makes it much easier to fast. And I totally can relate to the fact that fasting is difficult. But the neat thing about fasting is once you start, you don't want to stop. It's just getting over that hump of fasting, which can last anywhere from 6 to 12 up to 24 hours. Once you get over that hump, even if it's 24 hours, have you done it?
Oh yeah, I'm a Christian and we fast periodically.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. There's like a little hump that you got to get over. But up until that hump, it is a little bit difficult. But try the Suero V. And you know what else? If you don't want to fast, just do celery juice. If you don't want to fast and you can't find the Suero V or you don't want to deal with the Suero V, just do celery juice. Interestingly, when we grind up vegetables in a vortex, or we spin vegetable matter in a vortex, like in a blender, you generate electrical charges. The electrolytes in the vegetables and the water in combination with the vortex from the blender generates an electrical charge, and you actually can drink electricity, not huge voltage obviously, but just mild amounts, micro voltages of electricity when you drink these kinds of fluids, and they can have tremendous energizing effects that transcends their caloric composition, so that you get energy without calories basically. When you drink a celery juice, cucumber juice, you don't want anything that's hard for the body to process, and you definitely don't want anything that will create changes in blood sugar when you're fasting. That's really what you're talking about when you're fasting, is keeping the blood sugar really, really stable. So you don't want to do anything that'll spike your blood sugar, but spinning veggies in a celery or cucumber or peppers in a vortex will generate an electrical charge, give you energy without caloric intake, and it's a great way to endure, or to help yourself endure what can be a kind of miserable experience when you're fasting. So celery juice, and also put salt in there. Salt will amp up the electrical energy of the fluid as well. Salt, celery, water, spun in a vortex, remarkably energizing. And you don't just need to leverage that when you're fasting. You can actually use that strategy in the middle of the day just for a quick pick-me-up, a non-caffeinated pick-me-up. Celery, salt, blended together, spun together in a vortex like some kind of Vitamix. You maybe put
you should be sure and mention that this should be organic and Himalayan or sea salt.
That's right? Okay. Good point. Good point. Organic is always the best. Absolutely. Nonetheless, if you can't do organic, I shouldn't say that. We live in just a crappy, polluted world, and you got to do what you could do. But yes, your point is well taken. Organic is always the best, and also Himalayan and Celtic sea salt. Although now the ocean's crapped up, so although Celtic sea salt is supposed to be better because it's in the northern part, the northern ocean, but still, now you got to worry about the oceans. So yeah, maybe you're right. Pink Himalayan salt. I like the taste of Celtic sea salt, so I use a lot of that. All right, thanks for your tips there. Okay, good. Thanks. Take care, Carolyn. All right, I love my smart, bright side listeners, and thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. Appreciate it. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We've got lines open. You're listening to The Bright Side. If you are on the bubble about the longevity products, I highly encourage you to at least try the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It'll cost you about $45 or $50, and if you have never supplemented before and you try the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, it will change your life. If you're on medication, particularly medication that involves the circulatory system, blood pressure and heart medication, it's unbelievable what you'll notice if you haven't supplemented. Now, if you're already hip to supplementation, you've already used nutritional supplements in your life, or your family's using nutritional supplements, you may not notice the same kind of dramatic and profound benefits or effects that people who have not supplemented will notice, but nonetheless, you will still be getting health benefits. But if you haven't supplemented and you try the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, it is nothing less than life-changing. Call 866-735-2470 for more information. 866-735-2470, or purchase longevity products off brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.